5 News at Noon starts now.
The manhunt for the suspect in the double homicide at Devil's Den enters its 5th day. What police have released so far about a person of interest. And people on the West Coast are facing tsunami evacuations from the fallout of an earthquake in Russia, one of the largest earthquakes on record. Well, thank you for joining us for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with Danny Cassidy. Here at home, we probably have, well, I know we have a very hot day today,
yes,
but the good news is relief is in sight.
Yes, less than 48 hours from now on Friday, we'll be talking about how it feels so much nicer out there, but we got to get there first, Morgan. When we do get there, it is going to be a wonderful start to August. Right now, though, a little bit of a different story. 97 degrees currently in Fort Smith, but the feels like of 107. You maybe saw your phone go off. Some extreme heat warnings are issued for parts of the River Valley. Again, extreme heat warning or not, it's going to be very similar heat to what we saw yesterday and getting close to 110. Some areas in the River Valley could exceed 110. I think we're well on our way to another 100-degree day for many in the River Valley. Already at 98 in Waldron, 97 in Poto and Boonville, as well as Ozark. Even in Northwest Arkansas, 95 in Fayetteville. It got to 99 yesterday at Drake Field. Could get close to that again today. You see those feels like already in 110 plus in Ozark, Clarksville, Boonville, Waldron at 109. Even Eureka Springs, I think that's running a little high, but still in the triple digits no matter where you are in the area. So yes, it is going to be a hot one, possibly the hottest day of the year. Now this reading is a little bit high. I'm not sure how it got up to 116. I probably pressed a button wrong. But in Northwest Arkansas, it could get anywhere up to 106, maybe as high as 107. And for the River Valley, I think it could get anywhere again from 110, maybe as high as 114 in some areas, especially in the eastern half of the River Valley. It's like, all right, Danny, this relief has got to come now. Eventually it will arrive here with some rainfall chance starting today and a nice weekend ahead. So we'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Morgan.
The manhunt to find the person responsible for killing a couple at Devil's Den State Park enters day 5. Now take a look at this photo of the man that police say they want to question in connection with this investigation. That one's on the right side of your screen. And they've also released this composite sketch. They put out both of these photos hoping that someone may have information that would help with this case. Investigators say the suspect was driving a black 4-door sedan. State police also say it's likely that he was injured while attacking the couple. Now, one local police chief is speaking out, sharing his perspective as the killings happened near the community he serves. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi explains how the West Fork Police Department is staying involved and their message to residents.
West Fork Police Chief Justin Goggin says that while his office is not directly involved in the investigation looking into the deaths of Clinton and Kristen Brink at Devil's Den State Park over the weekend, he says that they are doing what they can control, and that is patrolling the area and looking for anything that may be out of place. Chief Goggin says he can't recall an attack like this ever happening near West Fork. He's hiked the trails at Devil's Den with his own family and says this incident hits close to home. He says his department is receiving tips from park goers and neighbors, but reminds everyone to report those directly to the Arkansas State Police. He's asking the public to stay alert, saying if you see something, say something. Even the smallest details, he says, could help move this case forward. Goggins also urges patience as investigators continue to sort through evidence and follow up on leads.
I can't imagine the amount of information they're having to go through and sort through. Especially early on in an investigation when it's very, very general information that's casting a really broad net. So you have to check it all, and that can really grind investigators down and really tie up resources and slow things down. So I'm just trying to be patient with investigators. They're going as quick as they can, I'm sure.
The Arkansas State Police continues to ask for the public's help in trying to find this person of interest. They are asking those who visited the park on July 26th to share any camera footage they may have from their cell phones. They're also asking area residents to share any security footage or game footage that they may have. And they're also urging people not to post that online, but instead share it directly with police. In Lowell, covering news where you live, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Thank you, Jacob. Clinton and Kristen Brink, new residents of Prairie Grove, are the couple who was killed in this attack. A GoFundMe made in honor of the Brinks has raised tens of thousands of dollars for funeral expenses. Made by a family member of Clinton Brink, the GoFundMe was made to also support the victims' 2 daughters who were hiking with them at the time of their deaths. According to police, their 2 children are unharmed or uninjured. They're now with family. We'll continue following updates from state police and the latest developments as they come into our newsroom on 5 News Plus. To learn how to download it to your smart TV, just text the word plus to the number right there at the bottom of your screen. Well, a jury found a Fayetteville man guilty for capital murder and sentenced him to life in prison. Kevion Jarrett was found guilty for the killing of 28-year-old Edwin Swan outside of a McDonald's on College Avenue in Fayetteville. His trial lasted 2 days at the Washington County Courthouse, and he will not be eligible for parole. In new court filings, the Justice Department is urging federal judges in New York to unseal grand jury information in the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell sex trafficking cases, citing high public interest. It comes as the president is also receiving new information about his falling out with the late convicted sex trafficker. Natalie Brand reports.
He took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore.
Speaking aboard Air Force One, President Trump gave more details into his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein, who he eventually banned from his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida.
I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago, and people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
The president acknowledged one of those workers was Virginia Gouffre, who alleges Ghislaine Maxwell approached her in the spa back in 2000 when she was only 16.
I was reading about anatomy and massage, and that's when Ghislaine came up to me.
Gouffre, whose family says died by suicide earlier this year, was one of Epstein's most public sex trafficking accusers. In a 2020 interview with Gayle King, she called Maxwell the mastermind of his sex trafficking operation.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. I would like to see Ghislaine stay in jail forever.
Maxwell is now appealing her 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking to the U.S. Supreme Court and to President Trump, asking for clemency.
The House Oversight Committee wants to hear from Maxwell, but a new letter from her attorney says she cannot risk further criminal exposure in a politically charged environment without formal immunity. A congressional spokesman says the committee will not consider granting immunity for her testimony. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Maxwell's defense lawyer also continues to talk openly about securing a pardon for his client. President Trump has refused to rule that out when asked on multiple occasions. Well, new details reveal the shooter in Monday's deadly New York City attack blamed football-related brain injuries and that he deliberately targeted NFL headquarters. Police identified the shooter as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, who drove from Las Vegas to New York. He had a history of mental illness and obtained a concealed firearms permit in 2022. CBS News obtained his suicide note blaming football for CTE and accusing the NFL of hiding the risks. Authorities say he killed 4 people and then himself. Tuesday night, a vigil was held in honor of the victims.
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter by a weapon of mass destruction.
The New York City Medical Examiner's Office say they plan to analyze the shooter's brain as part of their autopsy, which we're told is standard procedure. Well, a tsunami alert left people on edge in Hawaii and along the entire West Coast. It brought mass evacuations to Hawaii and some coastal flooding. Now, the cause of that alert, one of the largest earthquakes on record, way out in the Pacific off eastern Russia. Jonathan Vigliotti reports.
You need to expect that there will be flooding on all of the islands. We expect significant damage along the coastlines.
An urgent warning from the governor of Hawaii ordering people to get to higher ground after one of the world's strongest earthquakes hit off Russia's coast early Wednesday local time, prompting tsunami alerts halfway around the world. Lines of vehicles stretch for miles in Honolulu, with drivers stuck in traffic trying to evacuate.
The roads are full, people trying to move. We ask you to stay calm, cooperate.
It was a similar scene near Waikiki Beach. Airports were shut down and evacuation shelters opened across the state.
We decided to go to elevated ground. We've passed a couple other gas stations that you can't even get in them.
The first tsunami waves hit Hawaii early this morning, flooding parking lots and boat harbors. The largest wave so far was off the coast of Maui, measuring about 6 feet high.
We're past the worst part of it. We're not going to see any impacts bigger than we've already seen.
The tsunami waves were created by a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Russia's Far East some 6 hours earlier, interrupting surgeries and damaging buildings. Powerful waves first crashed into Russia's coastline, flooding homes, the largest as tall as 16 feet. Drone video captured the aftermath. And in Japan, people climbed on roofs as tsunami waves hit the shore.
And incredibly, no major injuries have been reported. Here in Southern California, officials are urging caution around the coast, warning specifically of strong rip currents. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Malibu, California.